I couldn't count how many times we have done demonstrations on this. I think, boy, I'm telling you, this is the reason why I'm going into research and development. This might be another reason why I'm going to research and development. We couldn't explain this to you any more than we possibly could. I've explained to you multiple times that the reason why we don't do any more testing against a certain product due to the fact that every time we get one down here, it does the exact same thing in every single demonstration, every single test we run it through, it does the exact same thing. Usually, when I'm talking about gray screen paint mixes, even in gray screen paint certified screens, which I should have had done there too, also too, but I'm not gonna. That's something for later on. Is that they don't pick up. They don't pick up. I don't know where in the world. Even the professionals, people I talk to in the professional field, they even know that their gray screens don't pick up the way a dark screen is going to pick up. You go to Elite Screens, you go to any one of these big companies, and they'll tell you, look, the top of the line flagships are always going to be darker. I don't know where anybody thinks that a dark screen, a gray screen is going to be to pick up a contrast level over a black screen or any darker gray screen. And the problem we've seen with some of the darker gray screen paint mixes we've seen out here, and including, yeah, we did looked at paint on screens. But paint on screens never claimed to be to pick up a white level at all. And any time in any conversations I had with them, they never made that claim. But even the UV alone cannot pick up a white level next to a black screen, which I still find that crazy baffling that we could do a demonstration today and show you that that screen does not have the capability to pick up a white level. It comes up really dark under a black phantom, not black phantom, but what you call it, the Phoenix, because we have so many screens now. So, and I can't express this enough. I think this person literally forgets. He does forget. Right after he does something, he clearly forgets that his product really does not work. We wouldn't have 11 cancellations. You have any idea how much 11 times 85 is? It's $935, which means we sent him over $935 worth of orders on his product, and he canceled every single one of them. $935. He's talking about he's saving you hundreds. He saved just almost near $1,000 because the money was put right back into the account. If you call yourself having confidence in your product, and any other company we got samples from, not a problem at all. Companies who buy samples from us, not a problem from us. When we're doing business with big companies and want to sample the product, they buy 1 quart of it. We don't sit there and go, oh no, we can't ship it to you. We cancel it. We send it right out to them. If they like it. They don't, they don't. It's up to them. But they're going to test it against demonstrations that we do to back up to see if our product works. And we're really harsh on our own demonstrations. But if your product doesn't work, then if your product doesn't work and you have it in a comfortable environment, then you're going to cancel out. And the reason why you're going to cancel out is because the product is not going to work because you're used to having it in a comfortable environment. Now, when we say the product is outdated, it is outdated. I was making the product about 8 years ago. As you can see right here, a lot of people were making that product around 8 years ago. I wasn't the only one. There's a few other people that were making gray screen paint mixtures 8 years ago. There's another fellow who makes it about 11 years ago. That product is old. And the reason why it's old because everybody who knows me now, or some people who know me now, thinks that I used to make only a black product. No, we were actually making a gray product 11 years ago under the company Digital and Crystal Screen Paint.com. And there is me right there painting the screen. Look how many years ago, 8 years back. That's what I think shocked a few people who called me up and said, well, I didn't know you made gray screen paint. Yeah, we made gray screen paint that far back because at that particular time, it was popular. There was no such thing as gunmetal screens. There was no such thing as black diamond. I don't think black diamond even existed then. Daylight screens, all of them had like gray screens. That was the product at the time. It's an old product. So when I explain to you that you have an 8-year-old screen sitting on your wall with a newer projector, that's what you have. They're old. That's an old product. Now, this demonstration was done for ABS forms to display that you didn't have to prime your wall. That's why the wall is black. You didn't have to prime your wall. That's why the wall's black. Because back at that particular time, in that era, that's how old it was, that you didn't have to prime your wall. You didn't have to do a lot of sanding, which was required by glue screen, because that was the #1 paint on screen at the time, was glue screen. And it didn't have to require all this stuff. And in any form site you wanted to, was the same thing. You had to do sanding and sanding and sanding. You had to do this and that. You had to prime the surface and reprime and put a recoat over reprime. It was madness. So we came in and developed this product saying, look, you could paint this to a black wall, which is the darkest surface you could possibly think of for a wall. And we did blue walls and green walls and different color walls to display that you could paint on anything you want. You didn't have to go through this whole process. So this is what this demonstration was done for. And if you look in the demonstration, like I said, this shocked a lot of the naysayers, because they thought that, oh, we don't need to develop black paint. No, 8 years ago, hello, how you doing? Looking at me, we did a gray screen paint. We're developing gray screen paint technology at that time, 8 years ago. So the product that you're buying now is old. It's interesting how I can go back now, being 54 years old, and I can go back at that time and watch myself painting in a gray screen when all I do now is black technology or darker technology. I'm doing this dark technology strictly right now. So yeah, we've been there and done that. I have so many different combinations of gray screen paint products. It is not even funny. I can open up a container from making it for so long and look at it and go, oh, I can see how they made this one. Simply just by looking at it. Because we been there and done it already. It does the exact same thing. If you put it under a darker product, like I said, that's the first thing I noticed when we brought the Black Diamond sample sheet in and we saw the demonstration where I was showing off the blue ocean. This is privately to myself watching the blue ocean. I saw where the colors were popping and in contrast was popping. It was doing everything my screen couldn't do. That's why I knew that. Bottom line was I was in the wrong direction. We were moving in the wrong direction. I couldn't imagine now if I never got that Black Diamond sample sheet in there, I still would have been making this stuff. Unless I would have bumped into somebody else that had a darker screen and would have saw the difference between the two. This is the reason why if you call Elite Screens right now and you say, hey, look, what is the best screen that you have? They're going to say Dark Star 9. It's a darker screen. Why? It's a darker screen. It picks up better contrast. They're designed for 4K and HD projectors. What about the Cinema Gray? It's a good screen, but you want the best of the best. It's a Dark Star 9. That's why Dark Star 9 costs $3 grand and a Cinema Gray costs $800. If the Cinema Gray was the screen that was the more advanced screen, then it would be $3,000 and the Dark Star 9 would be $800. Yeah, your product is old. It's 8 years old. Now, the reason why we don't bother, I canceled all orders for any of the buyers to buy anything, and the reason why, it's a waste of time. I just thought about this. I'm so busy. I went through this last year, or the year before last year. We went through the multiple cancellations on trying to get the product over here. And then we finally got 3 of them over here. We got a UV, we got the metallic, and we got the personal over here. We had to go through some crap to get that. We had to order it because he was going through paranoia stage, you can believe. And I'm thinking, why is a person who's going through such paranoia, if his product works so well, it's supposed to be the best of the best, why are you going through such extreme measurements to make sure that somebody doesn't get their hands on it? Because the reason why is because it's not going to be in the same comfortable environment his product is going to be in. It's going to be tested. You've seen my test demonstrations. They're long and they're brutal. He's not going to be able to withstand any of the test demonstrations. So his screen is automatically going to fail right from the door, which is a product we have downstairs that don't do too well. You know, there's my, and if he sits there and says, well, they don't match, the products don't match, it's a different product. No, they do match. I have a product downstairs called My Mix on a 5x5 surface, and it matches the Metallica mix perfectly. Not only that, the deleted videos showing the product being made by the person who sells the product in black and white paint, which actually we use to make the product. And again, as I said, a brick of cancellation orders. I don't know how. Now, like I said, any other company, we can request paint on screens. We're able to obtain samples from them. Any other company, if I go to right now and say, hey, look, we need a sample of this, that, and the other, it'll be here within a week or so, unless they decide that they're going to basically ignore us or they're basically going to cancel the orders. So you do the math. 11 times 85. $935 we transferred to his account that have every single dime transferred back to our account over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's not a person who has a lot of confidence in their work. Same screen 8 years ago. From 8 years. I'll put the links at the bottom so you can watch the demonstrations of me painting in these screens. There are dozens of them. Not only that, I had beta testers, Zone 07. I think the guy calls McCree. I think he's a Superman. That's what his name was, his tag name. He was testing our products. Yep. Our products being contracted by one of our, what's the company we're doing contracts with? Under Digital One Crystal. They were contracting our products. Same thing, that's the exact same thing. You know why the orders were canceled? Because we were going to make the exact same products that we made from Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, and we were going to match it against all his products. Every last one would have matched. And that's 8 years ago. So you have an 8-year-old screen sitting on your wall right now. If, like I said, if your product, you have, and it's not just him, other companies, but other companies are not making these claims that their products can produce these. No other screen paint company I've checked has ever made any accusation that their products could pull up images next to black screens equally. Even they'll tell you, no, it's not possible. You need a darker screen to do that. You go to ABS forums, you talk to, I'm not a big fan of ABS forums and never will be, but you go over there and you say, hey, look, I'm going to ask you a question. They'll laugh you out of the room right now. I wouldn't suggest you, but you'll be laughed out of the room. Can a gray screen pick up contrast levels equal to a black screen? They'll laugh you out of the room. Like, what have you been smoking today? They will laugh you literally out of the room. If you think I'm joking, go over there and test and see what happens. So there's something wrong with your product is the reason why you canceled about 11 orders. And even right there on camera, and all these orders were made live on a stream. Every last one of them were made live on a stream. And this is not after, this is right after, and then he tells me, look, this is what I can understand. You sent us a link to buy from you, which I did. I went to your link. I bought every last product, every last one of these products. I bought from your link. I don't even know how you got the nerve to come on YouTube and still sell products when you can't even back up your orders. This is your link right here. This is your site, your link right here. Before you even begin to talk trash about someone's product, anyone's product, not only mine, anybody's product, before you try to review anyone's product, you need to look at yourself in the mirror because your products don't work. Your products are old. This is your official email, your official link to your website, telling us that we can order as much paint as we want. And we did. We went and ordered 11 times off your site. And each time at 11 times, every last order was canceled. And we didn't even have to go to PayPal. I didn't have to issue a complaint against them. That money was put right back in the account right away. You know why this is gold? You know why out of all the rest of them, this was gold? This is the first order we placed. When that link came up on my email, this is the first order we placed right here. That's why it's in gold, because that's the first order he canceled. He canceled every last one of them. It's not the fact that you think it's a victory because you canceled orders and you think we're mad because we can't get yours. We can't get yours. We couldn't. We wouldn't have them downstairs right now. I wouldn't have your products downstairs. If that was the case, if we could never get your orders, that was impossible. It's a waste of time. It is a waste of time. We have to go through 11 cancellations just to get your product. Good gracious. Why would I even waste the time to transfer money to someone's banking account, have them go order the product, have the product shipped to their house, have them ship the product to us, and then waste the time and the day of testing a product that we know darn well is not going to be able to pick up on anything we have down here because the product is 8 years old. And that's not just the first video. Look at this. We've been making your product, the product you claim to be yours, on drywall. Look at this, 8 years ago. The drywall demonstration you did on your screen paint, that was done 8 years ago. It's all old. Everything you have is old. Under digital one crystal screen, it goes on and on and on and on and on how many times we have made that great product. Because like I said, 8 years ago, that was the thing. There's no such thing as dark screens at that particular time. Didn't exist. Look at this, 9 years ago. It's old. Another 8 years ago. It's an old product. It's not worth the time. You can't do visual effects off of it because the abstract art and visual effect, the background needs to be black. Can't do an outer space, do outer space visual or special effects for the ceilings and for the domes. You can't use a gray screen in there. It's not going to pick up. Any light that triggers off in that environment is going to basically cause the screen to basically wash out even faster. It's just not going to work. It's an old product. So why does a person who's developing gray screen paint products switch over to a darker screen? Is because that's where the new technology is at. Not there. I can say that about my own stuff. And this is stuff I was making good money off of. I can say that about my own product that I made 8 years ago. That it is old, outdated screen paint. That's what it is. That's why any one of your products to come over here, I can make them. Every last one. I can make every last one of your products because I already had it already 8 years ago. It does the exact same thing. I've done countless demonstrations. Look at this. Look how many canceled orders. That's a lot of canceled orders. And that's not just stacked to be stacked. These are actual canceled orders from you. That's insane. When I look at that, I go, there's no point. I show my business partners that. I said, that's literally how many canceled orders I had from him. He said, this product doesn't work. Who's canceling the orders? Is somebody who works for him? I said, no, it's the actual person who makes the product. They're canceling the orders. These are the conversations I'm having with them. They're sending back to me back and forth. This is the email that he sent to me to order. And they said, well, why even bother with them? I said, we don't bother with them. That's why last time demonstrations, we don't bother. It's a waste of time. If I stick your product against the new screen paint I had downstairs, it's not going to pass. It's not. It's an 8-year-old product. Your product doesn't work. It's the same thing. It's the same mixture. Just like the guy who came on there and showed you how to take the bare silver screen, they mixed the black paint into it. The black paint controls contrast levels. They put a little glitter, they put a little silver into it to make it give a little bit of a kick, but that doesn't work. Pretty much whatever you dump into it between the black and the gray is going to dilute that automatically from the door, so you'll never see that. Unless you put in a high contrast with glitter in it, then you'll probably see that popping up every time the camera hits it, but then that becomes annoying after a while. Yeah, we know all that stuff already because this was what everybody was doing 8 years ago. They were making these great products. Now you have technology like this. Now you can go outside at 6:57. So I can go back and look at my old demonstrations and go, gee whiz, man, that was rough. Look at that. I can look at my own stuff and look at it and go, man, that screen would have never survived out here. That stuff I showed you, digital crystal screen paint products 8 years ago, never would have passed this demonstration. Never. I'll tell you that right from the door. It was too old. You would have never been able to pull this off outside. Never. You wouldn't have been outside watching a Star Wars at 6:57. No, not even when it worked, it would have never pulled off. Contrast levels would have completely washed out. If the contrast levels would have washed out, everything else would have went with it. Color, everything would have went right along with it. You would have not been out there watching no Star Wars. No way, no how. Not going to happen. Not this time, not any time. It's not going to pull up. And that's 180 inch screen, by the way. If those are curious to know the size of the screen, they're 180s. I never go back to my old demonstrations and compare, never, because I automatically know exactly what I saw in that room when I brought in that Screen Innovation sample sheet. Now, the thing about the Screen Innovation sample sheet that I brought in there, which kind of caught me a little bit off guard because I thought this screen was black, just in case the Screen Innovation ever decides to say, hey, well, no, we didn't copy off your technology. That's going to be virtually impossible because I know how your stuff is developed. We didn't copy off of it. We basically, I wanted to see why your screen was called a black diamond at the time. Well, it's called, still called a black diamond. And I'm like, is this screen black? Because I'm looking at it in all the demonstrations, I'm doing the research with them. Like, this screen can't be black. There's no way in the world black screen's going to pull out a white image that high. That's the denial that I was in when I was looking at the black diamond. I was like, there's no way in the world that's possible. How in the world is he getting a black screen? And it was baffling how you get a black screen to produce that image like that. How is that even happening? Man, and I finally got that punch sheet down there. I was happy. I got down there. I put it in my demonstration. I realized the screen wasn't black. They're dark gray. They're gunmetal screens. So then but then again, at that particular era, you didn't have a lot of dark screens. And the screen that was considered to be gray is considered to be black at that particular era. Now you got screens that are jet black. Well, I haven't seen what we tested against the Phantom. Test against the Phantom, basically, there's no screen that can match a Phantom. We've already gone through that already. We have tested. If any company comes like, well, here's your demonstration. This is your product. This is a Phantom. These are the tests we ran. We can't match a Phantom. You want to go over and do this again? We can go do it again. We can bring a Phantom up. We can show you. There's no screen right now that can match a Phantom. Phantoms are untouchable now. The Phantom will be back up in 6 months. When you see the Phantom back up in 6 months, it will be 6 times darker than what it was, because now we have that enhancement coating to pull white levels to a dark surface. Phantom is a completely different screen when you see it. But we needed to have that record under a Phantom that it was able to take. Oh, okay, that tree's not there no more. We had to need that record under the Phantom, that the Phantom basically beat every last screen, and all the rest of the companies that didn't want to go against the Phantom, they ignored our requests. Most of them canceled out their orders. They didn't want to go near that thing. So the Phantom now has a record at 10%. We can go back and brag on that. Yeah, at 10%, we wiped out majority of, out of 100, I say 98% of the screens out there could not go against a Phantom. At 10%, we got that record now. And if anyone sits there and says, oh, no, you don't, use a live demonstrations, pick one. Those are the kind of records you need to make your product good. Not this, not cancellations from the owner. That's bad. That's a really bad sign. So that just shows me at the end of the day that it's a waste of time for me to pay money to have somebody come down, place the order, because it would have been a lot easier for us to go through the website. Oh, yeah, it would have been a lot easier. Just go to the website, buy the product, have it shipped here, do the demonstration. Oh, heck, a lot easier. It would have been a heck lot easier. But we had to go through smoke and mirrors in order to have somebody come in, give him a whole fresh new account going as a different person, so he can't recognize who the person is. Listen to this as I'm telling you this. This is actually craziness to get a product from somebody. Get a different person there who has nothing to do, that no one he never recognized before, have them go in and buy the product and have the product shipped to their address. And then from their address, they have to ship it over here. You know how much time consuming that is? That's a lot of time right there to waste on someone's product that we know darn well when it gets down here, it's not going to work. Now, we tested paint on screens. Paint on screens never made, when I talked to them on the phone, they never made any suggestions about their product being to do this, that, and the other. Look at digione.com. This is the old company. 8 years ago. Look at the screen paint. It's gray. Show the movie demonstration. Same thing. Now, back then, I wasn't doing any real testing. I wasn't doing any color patterns. I wasn't testing against lead screens. I wasn't doing any of that stuff at all, period. Because, like I said, at that particular time, you didn't have to do any of that. All you had to do was basically just show a product that you can paint on as fast as you can. It had to be to produce a beautiful image. It had to do it in a well-lit environment. This was considered to be a well-lit environment back then. But the products now, come on now. Today's demonstrations have to be in well beyond fully lit environments. I mean, well beyond fully lit environments. This one, the Xbox 360 was the big dog when it came to screen paint products. Here we go again, painting another demonstration. 8 years ago. These are all 8-year-old products. Boom. Me looking at me. Yeah, it's old. It's all old. I just tell you right from the door. Well lit room painted on cardboard. Been there, done that. 9 years ago. Product maybe 9 years old. Literally, your product could be 9 years old. It probably is about 9 years old. On cardboard. Look at the color of the screen. Great. 2.0 gained fully lit environment. Look at the size of the screen. Cookie cutter screens. Yes. This is how demonstrations were done 9 years ago on little tiny cookie cutter sample screens. They would paint them on that. They would pull their projectors back. They would do the demonstration, and that's how it would go. Yep. So the stuff you're seeing, that's why I sit there and laugh when I go cookie cutter screens. You guys are still doing cookie cutter screens because that's what they did at 9 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. Old demonstrations. Let me see what time we got in here. We're pretty good on time right here. 9 years ago, part 1 demonstration under digital and crystal screen paint. Oh, this is really old. I think I did this on. Yeah, this is really old. Let's see how old the settings is for. Look at this. This is how old the video is. The video only goes up to 240p. That's how old the video is. 240p is the highest you can go in this video. This is part 1. I had 3 of these where I was showing people how to paint, how to turn a screen. Did I even put links into the bottom of this thing? No, I didn't even put links. Wow. Is this part 2? Yeah, this is part 2 right here. The first thing you saw was black. Now it's covered over with my glue system paint that I designed. It's called Digital One Glue Paint System. And this is when we called it Digital One Glue Paint System. That's how old this demonstration is. Once it's dry, it doesn't take long. You'll be able to see the stuff on the projector. That's why I tell you that old screen paints are outdated. Now, just to show you how outdated they are. And I'm doing this early in the morning because, as I said before, the rest of the day I'm going to be busy working on some other projects and just getting this out of the way. But just to show you that the products are old and they don't work. This is the new technology that we have over here. Where is my controller and where is Cat? 2 things I got to watch out for. Oh, and by the way, no, your product cannot turn our screens dark. Virtually impossible. As a matter of fact, we can turn your UV mix dark and produce a higher white level on a Phoenix. That technology right there can produce a higher white level than your darker screen paint products. We've done that already on the motorized projection screen. But that is the new technology. This is why it's a waste of my time to do. And mind you, not to show you that's not just you, but right there we have a certified white screen right there in the center too also. And this is the new technology we have now. Yeah. Up for in the morning. I got things I got to do today. It's going to be a very busy day for me today. I told you. It's a waste of my time. It's literally a waste of my time because the products we have here are old. Even with the lighter gray screens, it's old technology. All of it's old. It's the darker technology is what you're going to pay for. That's what you're going to pay for at the end of the day. That's expensive products. No matter what they tell you that, oh, no, no, it's old. It is very old. It's one thing to get on camera and show you a bunch of videos of this and cancelled orders. It's nothing to show you here in real life. This is the new technology we just developed. We haven't even had a chance to launch this yet. It's still under testing. This is that dark, advanced ambient light rejection gaming cinema technology. That has gamer embedded coding embedded inside of it. You would never be able to compete with that technology on any level whatsoever. Doesn't even require a calibrated projector to do it. And as I said before, even using a projector of 1,000 lumens, we do 1,000 lumen demonstrations outside on that Sony VPL CS4 projector. We do those outside. We got a mile-long demonstrations of every one of our screens have to pass that test outside, including this one has to go through it too. So we do those outside. We do those inside at 22 feet back in fully lit environments. No projection screens blocking windows and none of that stuff. We don't do any of that stuff because we know that the gray screens can't pull up. And by the way, the product on the side here, that's my product right there. That's my mix. So that's my black and white product right there, right next to the $107 screen paint we bought from you, which is the Metallica Mix 2.0. See how they're matching right there? There's your personal mix 2.0, and right there is the Cinema Gray 5D. We didn't go with the Cinema Gray because that is a light gray screen. We decided to go with a higher version of that. Just to even show you that a higher version, it's not going to pick up next to our screens. But that is a black and white product. That's the same product we have downstairs on the 5x5. Just to show you, like I said, it's old product. And the reason why it's old product is because, like I said, we've made this stuff over and over and over again 8, 9 years ago. Probably a little farther back than that. Probably got videos that go back a little farther than that. There's the white levels right there. And right there, like I said, from the door, when I show up the white levels, I can automatically see from the door that you're not going to be able, or they're not going to be able to pick up their colors correctly. Not just you, but them too. Or in mine. Mine's not going to pick up either. See? Any screen that has that color gaming technology to be able to produce those high bright colors will make your screen look white automatically from the door. That's an enhancement code technology. That's why that screen looks so vivid, so gorgeous when those bright colors push through. You can't match that. And my projector is not even calibrated. My projector is old. It's a 2014 model, an old eBay projector. I paid $270 for it. That's it. Never required any form of calibration whatsoever. Still sits in the factory settings from the day that I got it. As a matter of fact, I did a demonstration, did an unboxing demonstration. When the first day we got it, open boxed it, there was some sample sheets against one of the screens we had. And yet you have these products and you have to calibrate. You have to be in dark environments. Same thing, not same thing like our old demonstrations, I never calibrated any projectors. I've never calibrated a projector a day in my life. And even in the old demonstrations under the old gray screen paints that we made, as I said before, you know, I couldn't be in an environment like this because the screen wouldn't pick up. I can get away with so much light in the environment. That's where our screens got on the map, because when everybody else is doing demonstrations in these really dark environments, real dark environments for just about anything, we could show demonstrations with a lamp in the environment. And that put us on the map because that was unheard of to have a lamp in the environment. But with this product today, I mean, come on, ambient light rejection technology, projectors are far more advanced than what they were from 9 years ago, and they're still doing the same demonstrations 8 years ago that we were doing. That's what I know. When I see the fake out demonstrations where they'll do the bright colors in fully lit environments, they'll do contrast levels in poorly lit environments, come on, we know all this stuff already. Next to gamer technology, you won't pick up any color at all. These screens have enhanced color technology embedded into them. You can't pick up contrast levels next to them. That's why the darker screens cost the most money. I had a customer went out and did some research. He said, I had no idea projection screens were that much money. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money on a projection screen, a serious amount of money. Go any one of these dealerships and try to walk in there and say, oh yeah, I want this screen for such and such and so. That is not going to happen. And you're lucky if you walk out of there with a screen for $3,000. You're talking about an easy $5,000, 8,000. We're talking about 100 inches only. We're not talking about 120, 130, 150. Sure enough, ain't walking out of there with any of the screens that I have in my environment. This is a 106-inch screen. This is an elite 100-inch screen. Edgeless, the new models they have. That's why it has no border attached to it. This screen was about 400 because I got two of these. That's the 126-inch model right there I bought, and that right there is the 106-inch model I bought right there. These screens were white when I got them. No point in paying the money for them because, I'm not paying an arm and a leg for a product I'm going to be painting over it to begin with. We're flashing in and out the colors, the same demonstrations we do. I don't do these. If you look at any of the demonstrations I did on the digital one, we are doing these demonstrations. I don't even know what I would be looking for to begin with to be doing these demonstrations. Honestly, what would I be looking for? What would I be matching against? All the other paints out there were the exact same thing, pretty much. There's only difference between ours and them that we did ours with the lights on. Everybody else was sitting in the dark. That's what's got us on the mat. So that didn't pick up too well. Let's go over to the OLED horse and see if we can pick up a decent contrast level. This is why we get the cancellations. And I told you, in OLED demonstrations, backgrounds have to come up jet black at all times. You have food in your dish. What are you complaining about? What do you have in your dish right now? Pretty much on man. You do that, man. Is it just you or somebody else? Do I have another cat in here with me, or is it just you? You're out of everything, man. We got another person here living with, do you? Dragon breath, man. Yeah, just dragon breath. There. And drink your bottle of water. There you go. Everything. Good as gold. Good as gold. Good as gold. Set up. Okay? Still making. I don't know what even still making to begin with. It don't work. All right, let's get this wrapped up because we got work to do today. So already been a waste of my time. I have to be in here for these demonstrations early today. I'm doing these demonstrations today. And then the tech. And then else we got to do. Okay, that's for the next one we'll work on later today. I'm going through right now. We're done with this because that's it. There's nothing more to explain. There's nothing really to explain. I mean, I pretty much have explained everything on every level whatsoever. There's nothing more to explain. The product doesn't work. It's not going to work. I said it's an old product. You know, that's what I explain to people when people go out and buy white projection screens. They're buying an old screen. That's an old screen. A white screen is nothing new. It's an old screen. White screens have been out since the silent era. If you do your research on what you're buying, white screens have literally been around since the silent era. That's how old a white screen is. And they market a white screen like it's something new. They have been around since the silent era. Before sound was at a movie theater. That's literally how old they are. I tell people, take the time, crack open a few books, do some research. That's how long a white screen has literally been out. There's nothing different about a white screen. If it's 1.1, a 0.1, it doesn't make a difference. It's all the same thing. White bed sheets, you can do the same thing. White notebook paper or white construction paper. It all does the exact same thing. Everything we tested over here does the exact same thing. Does the same thing. And the same thing with these great products. They do the exact same thing. Every last one of them do the same thing. That's why we don't test his product anymore, because it's pointless. We'll put it up there for a demonstration, show you it's a great product. We're just gonna market it as a great product, because that's pretty much what it is. It doesn't even need a name attached to it. We just put it as a great product, and that's what it is. I can go back and I can make any one of my old screen paint mixes from 8, 9 years ago, and it'll match perfectly with no problem whatsoever. Same thing. It's all outdated. Let me see. Let me clear this real quick. That's why I sit there and explain that anytime you do contrast demonstrations are supposed to be done in fully lit environments. So you can see exactly where the contrast levels lay. This screen's not black. This screen has that contrast shifting technology embedded into it. But then again, the screen did beat what? 4 certified projection screens, ultra short throw. And then did it at what? We did from the door, we did 4 top certified screens. So 2 of them were gunmetal screens, and the screen was able to beat them too. And if you take a darker screen next to dark technology, it still can't compete with the technology we developed. But as for these great products, no, they're not. They're got an old screen sitting against your sitting in your theater room. You might as just switch out your 16:9 and just get a 4.3. That's what you might as well do, because that's pretty much where you're at. Just go get rid of the 16:9 and just get a 4.3. Go get yourself one of those 35 millimeter old reel projectors. There's no point you having that projector on a screen paint like this. You got 4K 1080p. Even with the projector I'm using right now, it's pointless while you have it on one of these great products. If you got to spend more money to get your contrast levels to pop, that just tells you right there, my contrast level is only at 4,000 to 1. That's it. And at 5,000 lumens, so we're using a 5,000 projector. Oh, they're all on 5,000 projectors. If your screen can't pick up at 5,000 lumens, then there's a huge problem there. And the screen is darker. But the same thing like the Phoenix. The Phoenix can pull up a white layer higher than UV. Much higher than the UV mix. UV comes up dark and dirty on a UV. I'm sorry, UV mix does come up dark and dirty next to a Phoenix. A Phoenix can pull a high white level over a UV, and a UV is gray. Yet it can pull contrast levels that a UV mix can't pull off. That's why I sat there and said in my vid that people who have, and I made the statement last night, people who have gray screens, you will never understand the true technology behind dark technology. You will never be able to understand it. Your product will, anything you have is that, like I said, is outdated. And if it's not outdated, as I said, at the end of the day, do the research. Look at your cell phone you're using right now. What color is the screen on your cell phone? Is it dark or is it light? What's your problem? You crazy kitty, you. Come on, man. Dark screens are way beyond that now. We can pull the same white levels your screens can pull. We can pull better color in your screen. You can pull better contrast, which makes the product that you have obsolete. If you want to put in the argument, oh, but I can't get the same. No, you can forget that. Yeah, that argument's out the door. Black Phoenix proved that a couple of days ago. Black Phoenix proved that on a motorized projection screen. If you want to recap on that, we can refresh that one real quick. That's why we have to cancel orders, because they know darn well if we get that product down here, it's not going to be in a comfortable environment. The same environments they're using, those poorly lit and dark environments, they were doing that 8, 9 years ago. That's a dark screen, dark technology that's pulling that image up like that. And that is my product I made out of black and white paint. Next to a product right there that cost me $175, $107, which is the Metallica Mix 2.0. Yeah. Yep, go out and spend more money for a projector with higher contrast and whatever you got to pay for to get your screen to try to look like mine, but it's not going to come even close to what this technology can do. Not even close. Your product is old. It's outdated. Even with the Elite screens right here, I'm sorry, but the product is old. That's why they have a darker screen. That's why they have steps on their technology. They have a lighter version or the white version of their technology that you have. And then if you want to upgrade that, they have different levels of upgrade. You can upgrade to the Cinema Gray, which is a more of a light gray screen. And then they have a little mid-color screen, which is the Cinema Gray 5D and Cinema Gray 3D. And if you want something a little more advanced and more darker than that, then you can go buy the flagship, which is the Dark Star 9, the heavy dark gunmetal screen, which costs $3,000. Where in these products, the darkest product you have in the screen paint mixes, you have a UV mix. And the UV mix has not been properly tested because, like I said, we got test results on our product of a black screen producing higher white levels, which shows that that product cannot see white light. But that's basically about it for me. I am past my time, 48. That's all I can show you right from there. And mind you, at the end of the day, this screen's not even black. Not even close. The screen's not even black. Nope. There you go. Just a little. Since we did the Star Wars at the 180-inch screen, I thought it'd be fun to just do a little Star Wars display at 106 inches on the Elite Edgeless, coated with the gaming cinema. Show that, lights out. We have to be in the dark to watch a movie if we don't want to. There's your outdated product right there. Well, if you do have one of these outdated products, that's pretty much what you have. All right, with that being said, I got some things to do. Thank you for your time. Got to go, and God bless. There we go. From here, and we're done.